Yo there, my ladles and gentle soups. I am Tessellating Hexagons, and I'm back with some more Spyro 1, and we're doing the boss of the Peacekeeper's world, and I'm slightly worried that the TV might be too loud. Give me a moment. You see, I was playing Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival with the parents the other day because I bought some new Amiibo over the week. I would say over the weekend, but no, it was Tuesday. So, Dr. Shemp, or Dr. Cool as he's known in Japanese, I think, having given it some thought, the most boss-like of the... Okay, yeah, these enemies... First of all, I will say, these enemies, they kind of die by themselves if they don't hurt you. Like, you just sort of... The camera's a bit slow to pan around, but he just charged off the end of the level and died. But don't worry, because any enemies that fall off the side of the level, their gems will just fly back onto the level for you to collect. They're not permanently missable like that. But yes, Dr. Shemp, I think, in my opinion, the most boss-like of all the bosses in the game, including the final boss, also charged through here, just trust me. There we go. And there's another one. Also, these ladle women, I don't know what else to call them. They can slap you around a bit. I don't remember if that causes damage, because I feel like it should cause you damage if they hit you, but I recall being hit upwards and not taking damage, but... Okay. Attempt number 3 at sticking on this tangent. Dr. Shemp is the most boss-like. He behaves most like a boss rather than just a big enemy. He has attack patterns and all that stuff, and as a result, I feel like, as a single entity, he's probably the hardest boss of the game as well as the most boss-like, whereas Toasty was just an enemy surrounded by tougher enemies. But Dr. Shemp is all by himself, and comparatively difficult, but only comparatively. And we're going to want to grab this key while we're here, because the boss is through there, and it's kind of a one-way door, sort of, temporarily for the moment. Now, I remember not having any trouble with this boss at all when I played through this game as a child, but in my low percent run, it gave me all manner of trouble. But first, we're gonna have yet another dragon. Trondo! What a name, wow.
This guy thinks he's so cool. You don't know what it's been like listening to him over and over. But I'll tell you one thing. He should watch his back.
I heard parts of that. So apparently the bosses have personalities of their own. So yeah, Dr. Cool here isn't a sheep on stilts. He's definitely a thing. Now I think this is another instance of the role being your friend. You just need to get behind him and flame his ass. Which is easier said than done, just because I'm a little bit crap. That's one hell of a noise he makes when he's running away as well. Also, you can't skip ahead because for some reason he needs to take damage before the bridges roll out, and I think, as I said, rolling out of the way and attacking with good timing are kind of your friends here, because Phase 1, he charges at you and swipes and stuff, and you have to just make sure he doesn't hit you. Phase 2, he's weak first, then he attacks, and that can catch you off guard like it did me just then. So be ready to attack whenever. But this time he does some sort of pogo dance. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, just turn your back to me. Can I just flame your booty, please? There we go. Somehow being hit by him put me in the prime position to flame his ass, despite having flamed his ass several times. This is sounding all manner of suggestive. Let's just grab these last couple of gems and get down to the treasure chest and get to the other bit of gems that I haven't even got yet that you could get at any point during this boss fight, because actually this isn't a one-way arena. Because as soon as you're in, you can just fly back down to this little arch here and get back out to the first area. So it looks like it's one way, but it's not. But it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. Ladle woman, you're dead. There we go. I would say also it's kind of special because there are no healing entities in this boss level, but there weren't any in Toasty either, so that doesn't make it any special at all. Yes, that is completely grammar. And by all rights, I should cut the trip back out or just pause and hit exit level, because as I've said before, it doesn't actually matter if you get to the home portal or not, but I just want to, alright? Because... Nah! Yeah, nah, I'm not gonna refer to that one clip from Eurovision again, but you know exactly what I have in mind. And I swear, that's the only time you'll catch me thinking about a naked Mons Zelmeleur, trust me. So, I would kind of like to heal before heading to the next homeworld, not because the next homeworld's particularly difficult, I just don't like being on low health. Jackrabbits, I think that's what these fodder are. I was saying in Ice Cavern how this is how most... That's how most fodder behaves, and just Ice Cavern is the exception rather than the rule. But speaking of Ice Caverns, oh, I love the next homeworld. I am a real dragon, you bitch! Look at me being all scaly and horny, no. Magic crafters, though. O-M gosh. It is everything a Spyro homeworld should be, in my most humble of opinions. It's got that intrigue, it's got that explorative nature, and it's got some fucking bomb-ass music. Just take a listen. That music, just this, it's my favourite, possibly, well, it's amongst my favourites in the game. It is one of the most iconic pieces from my childhood, and also that thief just there. Another instance of, where, if you don't catch the thief around this corner, then he jumps up onto that ledge and goes round that L-shaped bend back around to where he started, and you can't follow him up there. I thought maybe there's some way of doing that, which pertains to the story I can't tell yet, but we will learn that story in this homeworld, but there's no way of getting up there, so you have to catch him while he's down, and that was difficult, and it took me ages to do as a child, and here's yet another dragon. The second of the episode, Cosmos!
Welcome to Magic Crafters. I want you to release the dragons, reclaim our treasure, and recover the eggs from those pesky blue thieves.
Oh, I love the Magic Crafters world, because I love the aesthetic, I love the music, I love the dragons as well, because they're the cute, wise dragon stereotype. We've had the regal kind in the artisan's home. We've had the comparatively, I wouldn't say butch kind. We'll get to those in due course, trust me. But now we've got the wise old magic ones, and also those enemies there, those green druids. I love them. They're just the naughtiest little troublemakers, because they'll mess with the geography of the land. So you have to kind of charge at the two that I just killed. You have to charge at them so that they can't raise the land up to prevent you from getting to them, like this one. Because the two that I just killed raise up the ground underneath them into an unclimbable pillar. So you kind of have to get above them. No, you need to get to them before they can get out of your reach. Also, I believe it's around this point where the game starts putting a fuck ton of egg thieves in various levels. Just, well, I think the requirement to get to the next homeworld from here is to get a set number of eggs, which means that I think this is the first homeworld that you can completely skip if you've 100% of the game up to this point. I think that's the case. I know that happens at some point. I would say judging by my low percent run, but no, I can't say that because wait, no, yes, no, yes, I don't remember. I think this is the first homeworld you can skip, and then the next homeworld you can't, and then the next homeworld after that you can, if you 100% all the other ones. Or something like that. And oh no, we can't get through here because there's a druid blocking the way and we can't... Yes, Arrows, I know I need to go that way, you don't have to patronize me. Well, how are we going to progress any further into this homeworld then? Maybe this dragon will have the answers. I'm totally not building up to anything. Xantor, what a magic name.
When you see arrows like these, you can charge along with them to begin a supercharge.
Supercharge? Excellent.
Go ahead, try it.
Oh, yes, the supercharge. I don't know. As a game designer, it almost feels really late to start introducing this in the third main homeworld, but I said before how we didn't have any special powers that would allow us to break open those fortified chests, so we'd have to rely on either cannons or fireworks, or you can supercharge them. But you can only supercharge down those ramps that have the arrows on. And you can stack them if you have two supercharge ramps in close proximity, so if you charge down one and then charge down another without going uphill in between the two, then you can stack your supercharge. That doesn't really change anything. It's not like there's something you can only destroy with a level 2 supercharge, because the game doesn't think like that. But it is nice, there is an entire level built around that in the next homeworld, which is incredibly fucky, and I'm kind of not looking forward to it, but I kind of also am. Now, we have a portal here that's of the same nature as that one that I blurred out in the previous homeworld, so let's just hear what the deal is with it, so I can stop having to pixelate those. Boulder!
This portal leads to a special place where you can learn to fly. I remember when I was a young dragon, earning my wings.
Learn to fly. Got it.
This is the start of the story, where there are these flight levels, which in later games would be renamed speedway levels, and once I've cleaned out this homeworld, I think that's where I'm going to start for this homeworld's levels. But yeah, that's what that portal was that I pixelated in the Peacekeepers. That was that. Every homeworld has one flight level. The only exception to this in the history of Spyro ever is the second homeworld of the second game, and I'm slightly offended that has 2 speedways. But they're comparatively short levels, they're against the clock, and they're rather difficult, but once you see how they work, I'll explain the story, so I can go back and address the other... I didn't realise that it would be this soon that I'd get to share that story. I could put off that speedway level until I've done a couple of other main levels in this homeworld, but no, we've got just enough time in this episode to cover that, and possibly the previous one as well. Extra life, as if I need it. Look at how good I am. I'm so good at this game, I swear. And more money. 'Cause that was beautiful grammar. I'm so good at this game, and more money. It's not even money, it's treasure. I mean, you could argue what's the difference, but they don't use the treasure as currency, at least not yet. So, it's just there to look pretty, and pretty it does indeed look. So, do we have everything here? We do! Well, let's get on with the first ever flight level then. As I said, there is one in every homeworld, but this is the one you're supposed to encounter first, because the one in the Peacekeeper's home is kind of out of the way, so you're not expected to find it on your first playthrough, especially if you're playing through this game for the first time. And the one in the Artisan's home, well, did I not say there was room for one more level in the inventory screen? 'Cause there is. It's that homeworld's flight level. And, well, it's very well hidden, and we don't officially know where it is yet, so I'm not going to address it just yet. But if there's time, I might go back and do the Peacekeeper's flight level after this. But as you can see, Spyro can fly indefinitely rather than having to glide. And every time you tap X, that makes him flap his wings. I don't know if that actually makes any difference, but I like to tap it anyway because it feels like I'm going faster. So, every one of these levels has 4 sets of things that you need to destroy or fly through or flame or whatever. And each one yields a different amount of time to restore your clock, because once you run out of time, you're booted out the level. Well, on your first run through anyway. If you complete the speedway, then you're allowed to come back later and go for your best time. And in that case, the timer counts up rather than down, but the first time you play through it, there are 4 sets of 8 things. Again, there's one exception, that's in the second homeworld of Spyro 2, where there's 5 things, but 2 of the things consist of 4 items rather than 8, and I missed that chest. There's usually a fairly obvious set path through each one. And you'll see how it breaks down now. Once you get every item in a set, you get a gem bonus. 60 per set, and then you get an extra 60 gems for getting every single one in a single session. And you can play through it again to try and get a new best time. Because subsequent playthroughs, as I said, the timer counts up rather than down, so the various things that you fly through or destroy whatever don't restore your time, it's just a race against the clock. Oh yeah, I'd forgotten, when you come out of this portal you land exactly on this pedestal. Now, we do have time, so I'm going to go back to the Peacekeeper's world to show off the flight level there as well. So, as I was saying, Spyro can fly freely in those levels, and, oh yeah, we can go straight to the next homeworld now as well. So, as I said, you can completely skip this world if you want to. And I don't want to, because the Beastmakers, that's an interesting world, but we're going to the Peacekeepers for the moment. Yeah, so the way the flight levels work, that dragon outside the entrance to the flight level said that these levels teach you how to fly, and Child Me thought, okay, if I complete the flight level in every homeworld, then maybe that means I can fly in the overworld. And so I thought, well, overworld and other levels. And so I thought, oh, so those gems and those 2 life on that platform, I thought, oh, I can't get those now, I'll have to come back when I can fly so I can gain a bit more height. So I never tried any means of getting to them. I didn't try exploring the level to try and find a different way up to that platform. I never tried charging those lampposts to try and get the gems on top of them. I thought I'd just have to come back later after having beaten all of the flight levels. And as it turns out, if you beat all the flight levels, nothing happens. It's just another bit of completion. And this one was actually one of the last flight levels I ever found as a child, because, I don't know, I just never thought to come up here. And this kind of showcases the 4 things that you have to, like the 4 sets of targets in every flight level isn't necessarily the same thing. So in this case we have rings and chests as a constant, but you might have noticed as well, we have these giant incongruous lighthouses. And yes, those were a target as well, but as in keeping with real life, we have to flame them we have to flame the outer windows to turn them on. But more on that in a moment. Now, one other thing to note about these flight levels is the idea is to fly around a set path and do level. Of course, you're not actually on rails, you can fly around them freely, but there is a recommended path that gets you through the level in time. And then once you beat level, you're free to come back and give it another go and experiment with whatever routes may give you a better personal best time. That's why there's fairies there, to tell you which way to go in case you get a little bit lost, like I am right now. Yeah. What was I saying, though? Oh yes, you can land if you want to, and if you land you have infinite supercharge capabilities. You can, if you land you can charge, but if you land in water, that's an instant fail. So you have to stay airborne or on ground. Also, Spyro would fly up and do a fancy twirl in the air, but if he clips a bit of wall or ceiling on the way up into that loop-de-loop, then it just jumps straight to this screen. Now, I think I would say I have time to go and do the flight level from the first homeworld as well, but we don't officially know where that is yet, and we're supposed to find out in the next homeworld. No, not in the next one. In the next homeworld after this one, in the Magic Crafters world, there's a dragon that tells us gives us a clue as to how to find the flight level in the Artisan's home. But since we don't know that yet, I'm not going to spoil it. But rest assured, it exists. So, in the next episode, we're going to do more Magic Crafters-y things. We're going to start on the levels here proper, and it's a good time. Magic Crafters is arguably my favourite homeworld, having given it some thought, because, as I said, it's got that intrigue, it's got that explorative nature. I mean, just remember where I got the key chest here. You wouldn't even know that's there unless you go out of your way to explore. It's got brilliant music, this is just generally an incredible homeworld, and it has adequately incredible levels to go with it. So, in the next by the way, if you don't charge at these, they do that. Glad we cleared that one up. So, in the next episode, we're going to start with Alpine Ridge, which, as I recall, also has really rocking music, but in a completely different way. So, I have been, and will continue to be, Tessellating Hexagons, and I will see you then.